Now, have you ever felt like you're doing everything you can to move forward, but something just keeps pulling you back? You might read books, watch videos, maybe you journal, but those same emotions just keep coming up all over again. If that sounds familiar, it's not because you're failing. It's because your brain is wired to protect you in a specific way. And if you don't understand how you cope with stress, grief, or setbacks, then it doesn't matter how much effort you put in. You'll stay stuck in the same emotional patterns over and over again. Maybe you manage life's challenges most of the time, but then tend to push through the challenges, never taking breaks or asking for help. In reality, you risk burning out because you might be a DIY person, want to do everything yourself. I tend to be that way. Or you may feel determined to bounce back, but then get overwhelmed by all the stressors, which then hinders your ability to cope. Or maybe you're somebody who constantly looks for answers, but nothing seems to stick, which leads to feeling out of control, feeling stuck, hopeless. Do you ever wonder why certain things trigger you? Why you could be doing fine one moment and then bam, out of nowhere, you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or just completely shut down. This is very common. I remember working with Sarah. She was a woman in her 40s who she looked like she had it all together. She was successful, she was independent, and to everyone else, she seemed really confident. But on the inside, she was carrying something she couldn't quite explain. And one day she said to me, she said, I don't really think about my childhood often, but I can feel it. There's this invisible weight that just shows up every time I try to be happy or confident. It's like my past is still running the show, even though I've tried to move on. And that's when I realized she wasn't just reacting randomly. She had a pattern, a way her mind had learned to protect her. But that pattern wasn't helping her move forward. In fact, it was just keeping her in survival mode. And it wasn't something that she consciously chose. It was a subconscious pattern that had been running for years, which kept her small, keeping her guarded and keeping her stuck. And Sarah's not alone. So many of us have those unspoken stories that shape the way we respond to stress, to love, and even success. And that's why understanding your unique coping style is so important. Once Sarah saw her pattern for what it was, she could finally start making changes that actually helped move her forward. Here's the thing. Most people don't realize that they have a coping style, but everybody does. Many people think, I'm just wired this way. I've always been like this. This is just how I handle stress. But when you start to look deeper, you start to see those patterns. Some people power through everything, never stopping to process because slowing down feels like a threat. Some people shut down and avoid because feeling anything feels overwhelming. And some people crave stability but struggle to find it because everything seems unpredictable. Now, after working with so many people who feel emotionally stuck, I started noticing that most people fall into one of those three coping styles. The first one, you're the one who gets things done. You don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. And when life hits you, you push through, you take action, and you keep moving. Now, on the outside, people will probably view you as being really strong and independent, capable. The idea of slowing down or asking for help feels weird sometimes, almost uncomfortable, so you don't. Does any of that sound familiar? The second style, you might be the person who's trying. You really are trying hard. You've read all the self-help books, you've watched TED Talks, maybe even tried therapy, but no matter how much effort you put in, you tend to still feel stuck. You overthink things, you analyze. You know what you should be doing, but actually doing it? That's another story. You might feel like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Why isn't this working? And again, you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. And the third style, Maybe life has thrown some unexpected changes your way. There's been loss, stress, uncertainty, you name it. You can keep piling it on. But instead of moving forward, you are just stuck in survival mode. You want to feel okay again, but nothing seems to bring lasting relief. One day you feel like you're making progress, and the next, it's like you're right back where you started. And you might think, why does everything just feel so hard? If any of these sound like you, then here's what you need to know. Most people try to fix themselves without ever understanding their coping style. They try to meditate when what they really might need is movement. They try to push through when what they really need is stillness. They try to numb their emotions when what they really need is to process them. And that's why they stay stuck. Your coping style isn't wrong, it's just running on autopilot. But once you recognize it, you can start using tools that actually work for you. That's why I created the Emotional Resilience Quiz. Because once you understand your coping style, everything changes. This isn't a generic personality test. It's designed to show you, number one, why you react the way you do, what's keeping you emotionally stuck, and how to start shifting into a healthier, more balanced state. And the best part, it's quick. It's only 9 questions. So if you've ever asked yourself, why do I keep reacting this way? Why can't I just move on? What is wrong with me? The answer isn't that you're broken or that there's something wrong with you. You just don't have the right roadmap yet. So I'm going to drop a link below to that emotional resilience quiz, and let's get you moving forward, because once you understand yourself, healing becomes possible.